This is Ruger LCP Max Cold Weather Test 2 Gloves Edition, plus 3 defensive ammo accuracy tests. Let's hit the range. Alright, so we do a little more testing in the cold. It's not too cold. It's about 28. It might be in the low 30s by the time I leave, but it's about 28. Not much wind, slight breeze. You can see I got proper gloves on for the first magazine. We're going to shoot at the top target. And then I have 10 more rounds of what I'm going to call practice ammo, which I'll use my regular gloves for. And then we're going to use, I have 3 different kinds of home defense or personal defense ammo that we will use at the bottom, the left, the middle, and then the right one. Let's see if we can gauge the accuracy and precision. So here we go. Let's see if we can do the first round with proper gloves. See if we can, how it goes. Here we go. Hopefully you don't kick the camera. Okay, finger in the trigger guard, not really. Terrible accuracy. I put at least 2 in the bottom middle target, which is going to really mess up our results for that ammo. But let's do 10 more with shooting gloves this time. I did put 3, 4 in the intended target. That's terrible. 2 in the 9 ring, 2 in the 8 ring. And then I had 2 in the 8 ring in the bottom middle target, and 4 unknowns. Maybe we'll be able to tell when we watch the video. Okay. Now this is magazine 2, same target, this time with the shooting gloves on. I would say better accuracy. At least 5 on the target. None on any other targets, which was good. Okay, let's go to... Now let's give a shout out to our friends at Banner Shooting Range. Facilities like this are an invaluable resource to have if you have them in your area, or if you're lucky enough to anyway. Now, if you watch our videos at all and you wonder what's that nice manned facility that you have there in the background that you're shooting in, Banner Shooting Range. That's the outdoor facility with all the nice facilities that you see in most of our videos when we're shooting outside somewhere that has the nice concrete barricades and all that. Now moving on to the first topic of our video, shooting with gloves. Now if you're lucky you live somewhere where it's 70 all the time and you don't have weather, or you're me and you live somewhere where depending on the time of the year and the day it could be more than -20 below or hotter than 110 outside. Weather happens. Now, I thought it would be useful to go over my experience having shot this gun with gloves, because where I live, at least part of the year, I'm going to be wearing gloves anytime I'm outside, so that's probably how I'm going to use it if it came to that. My everyday gloves are a basic leather glove with some Tinsulated insulate inside. They're what I would wear if it's below freezing and above 0 outside. Just sort of an everyday functional glove, no frills, keeps your fingers warm and attached to your hand. Now they look like they wouldn't fit in the trigger guard of this gun, however they do with minimal effort, and you can very easily use the trigger if it came to that. Now the one downside I found is that the amount of insulation in this glove I think means I don't get quite as secure a grip as I would prefer. Though if this was the firearm that I carried this time of the year all the time, I'd put more practice in it, and I think with regular practice I could very easily overcome that sort of deficiency in my regard. Now the next glove that you would have seen us use is just a basic shooting glove. I think it's a Mechanix brand that I got off Amazon Subscribe and Save years ago. It's really a no frills glove, works well, and for me it just happens to fit, as they say, like a glove. Now it doesn't really do much for protecting from the weather, though I wear it when it's, below freezing, just because it's better than having nothing. And when it's, like 7 feels like -17 or whatever, after a few minutes you're going to want to have a glove on. Now this glove, it fits the fingers, they fit well. It fits inside the trigger guard just fine. It's very easy to use the trigger. If it comes to actually using the trigger, there's no problem in that regard. As far as fit in the hand, with the pinky extension, I can get a full hand grip still on the gun and still maintain a lot of control. And there's probably a lot of people out there that are going to say with the glove you get a little more sort of grip friction and maybe even a little better hold on the gun. I don't know. I mostly shoot without a grip, or a glove I should say. Though, on days like it's 7 feels like -17 or whatever, yeah, I'm going to have gloves on. Now the last example I have would be of a glove that I would wear if it's between 0 and -20. Below -20 I wear some mittens, and there's no point in wearing mittens in a video like this. So on this glove, the reason I included it is it's an example of one for, depending on the year, 2 weeks, 3 weeks of the year, I might be in a temperature where it's -20 degrees or -10 outside, and if I'm outside, I'm going to be wearing these gloves. If I chose to carry the LCP Max in those conditions with these gloves, as you can see, I can get about 1, maybe a 2-finger grip on there with these gloves. These are big gloves. They have a lot of insulation. They're Arctic rated. They're meant to keep your fingers attached to your hands in that weather. It doesn't take much to get your fingers frozen off. Now the downside is the fingers are so big on these gloves that they really don't fit in the trigger guard. In fact, I was not able to really ever get the trigger finger such that I could safely disengage the trigger shoe safety to fire a round from this gun with these gloves, or at least before going to the range, so I didn't even bother trying it at the range with live ammo, we'll say. Now I included that as an example of, again, because for a few weeks of the year I might be wearing these gloves, and if I just threw this firearm in a pocket of my jacket, threw these gloves on and went out, I could be looking at a situation where I really couldn't use my firearm unless I took my gloves off. And at that point, what good is it? Hopefully you're in a situation, if you're in that situation, where you have the luxury of being able to take your gloves off. Now the takeaway from all that, I would say, should be, if you wear gloves either because you have to wear gloves or because you choose to wear gloves, I would highly recommend that if you also happen to carry a firearm, that you practice with your firearm with the gloves that you're going to be wearing, because you want to make sure that you can both use the firearm and that it will work to your satisfaction when wearing said gloves. Now how about more range time and that defensive ammo tests? Don't forget to like and subscribe so Freddy gets his biscuits. 10 rounds of this Outdoor Sierra Master 90 grain JHP. Do the bottom left target. Some ammo I have not shot, I don't know, at all out of this gun. I would say I don't see it as often in the gun stores I go to, but I see it in the farm stores I go to. So when I didn't see 380 for a while, I picked up one of these. It's the only one they had at the farm store. Let's see how it does. If it's good enough, we'll just keep buying it when we see the occasional box. Here we go. Bottom left target. On the target. Looks like 2 in the bottom left, a couple low, 1 touching the bullseye. I would say that was At least as good as the target ammo, if not slightly better. Let's go to, now you'll have to forgive me, this is a mixed box of, there's 10 Magtech hollow point. I'll have to put the numbers on what they are on the screen when I get home. And then we're going to finish with 10 Hornady critical defense in the bottom right target. The Magtech we'll put in the bottom middle target, keeping in mind we have 2 hits from our target ammo at about 8 o'clock in the 8 ring. Alright, Magtech ammo. Center target. A failure. Okay, 1 failure on the Magtechs. All 10 are either on the page or the target, so that's actually good accuracy. Too bad for the 1 failure. Now let's do our critical defense at the bottom right target. Now this is my preferred ammo. You would think it would do the best, though on the flip side it's harder to find for me, so I don't get to shoot it that often. So we'll probably shoot it mediocre. I probably honestly shot that Magtech ammo the most, which probably explains why it shot so well for me comparatively. Okay, here we go. 10 critical defense, bottom right target. Okay, 4 on the page. Who knows where the rest went? Mystery. Okay, I have, well, 2 bullets, but I'm only going to shoot 1 of them at our challenge target, and we're going to see if we can hit it. Given the widespread so far, odds are very good that we will not hit it at all, but we're going to give it the old challenge try. Here we go. Definitely missed.